Have you already got paralyzed for fear? That feeling that squeezes the chest, which whispers you are not capable of, trying to convince you that the worst will always happen? So it is. Fear can be a sneaky enemy, stealing your dreams, your peace, and even your identity. But there is a powerful antidote against this invisible arrest: faith. Faith is not just an abstract belief. It is an active force that drives us to move on, even when everything seems to fall apart. This is what makes someone get up after a failure, start after a disappointment, and believe in the impossible. If you have already felt that your life is stagnant, fear may be in control. But what if, from today, did you make the decision to live by faith instead of fear? Fear focuses on what can go wrong. Faith sees the possibilities. The fear paralyzes. Faith moves mountains. Fear holds in the past. Faith opens doors for a new future. The big question is, which of these forces will you allow you to master your life? Will you remain hostage to the doubts, or finally take the command of your destination? In this content, we will explore how to overcome fear, strengthen your faith, and develop the mindset needed to live with purpose. Get ready for challenges, deep reflections, and, above all, to a call to action. Because in the end, it all comes down to a decision: are you going to live for fear or faith? Fear has the power to stifle your dreams even before you try to realize them. He whispers you are not good enough, that the worst will always happen, and that there is no way out of the pain you feel. But the truth is that fear only dominates when faith is weakened. And faith, my friend, is not ready. It needs to be cultivated every day, like a muscle that strengthens itself with training. Faith is the opposite of fear. While fear holds you to the past and the concerns of the future, faith puts you in the present, where life really happens. Have you realized that when you are anxious, your mind is always elsewhere? Faith is to trust that, regardless of what happened or what will come, you have enough strength to face the now. And now is all that really exists. If you are fighting anxiety, depression, or regret, the answer is not in sinking further in these feelings, but in looking beyond them. What is your purpose? What makes you get out of bed? When you connect to something bigger than your fears, be your family, your mission, or your belief, you find a reason to continue. Faith is born of this connection. Life is a battlefield, and you have two options: fight or surrender. Choosing faith does not mean ignoring the problems, but facing them with the certainty that something is greater supporting you. If you are still here, it is because your story is not over. So instead of drowning in fear, use faith as your rescue float and keep swimming. The fastest way to strengthen your faith is through action. Take a step, even without having all the answers. Pray, meditate, write your thoughts, seek knowledge. A great example is Paulo Vieira's book, The Power of Action, which teaches you how to get out of inertia and transform your life. Because faith without movement is just theory, and theory changes nothing. When you allow faith to invade your life, something magical happens. Problems do not disappear, but you face them with another mindset. And a mind strengthened by faith does not bow to fear. Now tell me, are you ready to let faith dominate your heart and take control of your story? Life gives no guarantees. One day you are at the top, the other feels that everything collapsed. But do you know what differentiates those who rise from those who remain fallen? The decision. Resurrection is not just a divine miracle, it is a daily choice. Each morning you have two options: surrender to the weight of the past, or get up and fight for a better future. The problem is that many expect to feel ready before acting. They believe that motivation will come first, that a sign will appear, that the circumstances will change. But the truth is that the restart happens just as you decide to get up, even without strength. Faith comes in here. It drives you when everything seems lost. You don't have to see the whole way. You just need to take the first step. How many times have you felt deadly? Perhaps it was a mistake of the past, a loss, a frustration. But think, does this define who you are, or just part of your story? Resurrection means understanding that your past need not determine your future. What happened has passed, but what you will do from now on depends only on you. If you need inspiration, look at great examples. Thomas Edison failed more than 1,000 times before inventing the lamp. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison before becoming president. Jesus won death and resurfaced to show that there is no definitive end for those who choose life. No matter how much you fall, there is always a chance to be reborn. Want to know how to start this resurrection? Change the lamentation for the action. Take care of your body, strengthen your mind, and connect with what gives meaning to your existence. Read Hal Elrod's The Morning of the Morning and see how small daily changes can transform your life. Resurrection does not happen at once, it is built one step at a time. You don't have to wait another day to decide to really live. The choice is there, right in front of you. You can continue to carry the weight of the past, or you can make the most powerful decision of your life to resurrect, get up, and move on. What will it be? How many times have you woke up and didn't even realize you received a gift? Waking up is a daily miracle that we underestimate. While you read this, thousands of people around the world did not have the same chance. But you had, and that means your mission is not over yet. The question is, are you really living or just existing? Life goes on in the blink of an eye. Yesterday you were a child. Today you have responsibilities, and tomorrow who knows? Time does not expect anyone, and every day wasted is one less day on your journey. But instead of regretting the lost time, how about deciding to take advantage of what you still have? Life is short, but full of opportunities for those who choose to see them. The problem is that a lot of people live as if you have an eternity ahead. They leave dreams for later, postponing decisions, waiting for the perfect moment that never arrives. But the truth is that the only time guaranteed is now. So if you have something to say, say. If you want to change your life, change. You feel like hugging someone, hug. Repentance for what was not done hurts more than any mistake. If life is so precious, why treat it as a banal? You were made for something bigger than just survive. Seek purpose, invest in personal growth, do what you love. Want a practical tip? Read Mark Manson's Subtle Art of Turning on the FDA. Find out how to prioritize what really matters. Your time is too valuable to be wasted with what doesn't make you grow. Each dawn is a new blank page, and you have the pen in hand. What will you write today? Are you going to keep living on autopilot, or will you make every time worth it? The choice is yours, and this choice defines your legacy. After all, when your story is over, how do you want to be remembered? The clock doesn't stop. Life is now. Will you wait or start living for real? Life is like a ladder, either you go up or stand still, and if you stand still for a long time, it ends up falling. The moment you stop fighting, to seek to grow, to challenge yourself, something inside you starts to die. Stagnation is the first step to withdrawal. But here is the secret: as hard as it may be, you can always take another step. The problem is that a lot of people give up before the finish line. They feel tired, frustration, fear of the unknown, and decide to stop. But what if only 1 meter was missing for victory? How many opportunities are lost because someone decided to stop when it was so close? Overcoming fear and continuing to advance, even without seeing the immediate result, is what differentiates the winners from those who live from repentance. Every growth requires effort. Think of an athlete. He does not improve overnight, but with daily training, overcoming pain, tiredness, and the desire to give up. The same happens in life. Next means learning new skills, getting out of the comfort zone, and resisting the challenges. Read Napoleon Hill's Smarter Than the Devil and find out how persistence can shield you against paralysis of fear. When everything seems difficult, remember the pain of growth is temporary, but the regret of not trying to last forever. So even if you are tired, adjust your strategy, take a deep breath, and move on. The difference between success and failure is often simply to continue a little more. Whatever your goal, believe me, you have the strength to get there. You may not see the result today, but each effort is building something bigger. Keep advancing one step at a time, and when you look back, you will see how much it has evolved. Now tell me, will you end up halfway or keep up until you reach the next level? The only competition that really matters is not against others, but against your version yesterday. Constantly comparing with others only generates frustration, because there will always be someone more experienced, more successful, or at a different stage than yours. But when you decide to focus on being better than it was yesterday, your only reference becomes your own progress. The problem is that many people sabotage themselves trying to run a race that is not their own. They measure their success for the success of others, forgetting that each journey is unique. You don't have to be better than your neighbor, your coworker, or that person who seems to have the perfect life on Instagram. Its sole purpose should be to evolve every day, even if it is only one. Evolving means learning something new, correcting mistakes, improving your skills, and adopting healthier habits. Small daily advances generate giant changes in the long run. A great book about this is James Clear's Atomic Habits, which teaches how small, consistent changes create lasting transformations. The secret is not in radical changes, but in continuous adjustments. Look back and see how much has evolved. You may not yet be where you want, but you are certainly not the same person of a year ago. So instead of despairing at what is missing, celebrate your small victories and keep building your best version. You are competing with yourself only, and every new day is an opportunity to get over. Keep focus on your own journey. The only useful comparison is one that motivates you to grow. Learn from errors, refine your strategies, and continue rising. Success does not happen overnight, but for those who persist, it is inevitable. Now, look in the mirror and ask, who am I today and who I want to be tomorrow? Are you willing to win this competition against yourself? Pain is inevitable, but prolonged suffering is a choice. Everyone goes through difficult times, losses, disappointments, frustrations. But the big difference between those who go on and those who get stuck in the past is in a simple decision to get up despite the pain. Falling is part of the journey, but staying on the floor is optional. Often pain makes us believe that there is no way out. We have no strength to continue. But the truth is that you are stronger than you think. Think of all the battles you have already faced and won. You've been through difficult days before, and here you are, standing. This means that there is still strength within you, even if now it seems impossible to see. Rising does not mean ignoring pain, but using it as fuel to grow. Great leaders, entrepreneurs, and athletes have undergone failures and difficulties before achieving success. Michael Jordan was cut from the basketball team at school. Oprah Winfrey was fired from the first job. Steve Jobs was expelled from the company itself. Everyone could have given up, but they chose to get up. The secret is not to expect the pain to act. The healing process happens in the movement, not in stagnation. Read Ryan Holiday's The Obstacle is the Way and understand how difficulties can be the trampoline for its growth. What seems like a problem today can be exactly what will lead you to your next level. Pain can be a great master as long as you do not allow it to define you. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Ask, what can I learn from it? Each scar tells a story of overcoming, and yours will be no different. Now tell me, will you allow pain to attach you to the past, or use it as a boost to rewrite your future? Are you ready to get up once more? If you are reading this, it means you are still here. And if it's still here, your story is not over. You may be tired, unmotivated, feeling that nothing makes sense. But as long as there is breath on your lungs, there is still time to change. The game only ends when you decide to give up, and if you got here, it has proven that it is not the type that gives up easy. Life can be hard, but it always offers a new chance. Thomas Edison said that many fail because they gave up without knowing how close they were of success. What today looks like a dead end can actually be the point of turning to something bigger. But it only happens for those who decide to continue, even when everything seems lost. If you feel your life is stagnant, ask yourself, what can I still do? There is always a new ability to learn, a new way to explore, a new opportunity waiting for you. Your destination is not written in stone, it is shaped by the decisions you make every day. Read Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Agora and find out how to live the present can transform your life. Many people lose years lamenting what went wrong, without realizing that they still have time to fix. Instead of focusing on what cannot change, focus on what you can still build. No matter what happened, what matters is what you are going to do from now on. If you are alive, you have a chance to rewrite your story. You may be hurt, unmotivated, or without strength. But remember, everything goes by. What seems unbearable today will be just a memory tomorrow. Your only mission now is to take another step. Small, if you need to, but one step ahead. The question is, will you accept living on autopilot, or will grasp this new chance to transform your life? You're still here, and that means you still have time to do something amazing. Each choice you make today is building the path that will lead to your destination. There is no neutrality. Either you advance toward what you want, or move away without realizing it. Your legacy is being written every day in the small and great decisions you make. The question is, are you building the story you want to leave behind? Many people live without realizing the impact of their actions. They think their choices make no difference, but everything we make or stop doing shape our future. If you want a meaningful life, you need to act with intention. No one builds a great legacy by chance. You need to decide who you want to be and walk in that direction one day at a time. Think about the big names that mark the story. Martin Luther King, Mother Teresa, Nelson Mandela. None of them were born predestined to change the world. They simply made daily decisions that led them to it. You may not change the whole world, but you can transform your own reality and who is around you. Your legacy begins in small attitudes. If you still don't know what your purpose is, start wondering, what do I want to leave behind? How do I want to be remembered? Simon Sinek's book, Beginning for Hot, can help you find this answer. When you understand your purpose, your decisions come to make more sense, and fate is no longer something uncertain to become a path built by you. Remember, legacy is not about fame or recognition, but about impact. What you do today can inspire someone tomorrow. Your destination is not a chance, but a reflection of your choices. What are you planting today to reap in the future? The question that remains is, are you living so that your actions bring you closer to the destination you want, or just letting time pass? The past may have been painful, but it does not define its future. We all carry scars, some visible, some kept in the deepest of the soul. But as hard as it was what you faced, a truth remains firm: your story is not over yet. You are not your trauma. You are what decides to become after him. Overcoming a trauma does not mean forgetting it or pretending that it did not exist. It means looking at him and saying, "You hurt me, but you want to find me." It is transforming pain into strength, weakness into learning. Great stories of overcoming were born of people who decided to re-signify their wounds. Which could be an end, it became a new beginning. If you think you can't, think about the examples of those who have gone through it. Viktor Frankl survived a Nazi concentration camp and wrote In Search of Meaning, one of the most impactful books about finding purpose even in suffering. Oprah Winfrey faced extreme abuse and poverty, but used his story to inspire millions. Your past can be a weight or a trampoline, you decide. The first step to overcoming a trauma is to accept that it has happened, but not allowing it to steal your life. Seeking help, talking about what you feel, finding new ways to see the experience, all this is part of healing. The pain does not disappear at once, but with each day you choose to move on, it loses some of the strength you had about you. Believe me, the best days of your life can still be in front of you. But to live them, you need to stop carrying the weight of what is past. It is not about forgetting, but to move on with a new perspective. Don't let your past steal your gift. Now tell me, will you continue allowing trauma to control your life, or choose to turn it into your greatest strength? How many opportunities have you lost because you have been thinking too much? How many times has you postponed a decision waiting for the perfect moment? The truth is that perfection never comes. There will always be doubts, fears, and excuses ready to keep you in the same place. But those who gain great things do not expect the ideal conditions, simply acts. Excessive thinking leads to paralysis. You analyze, rethink, create scenarios, and, in the end, do nothing. This cycle kills more dreams than failure. Because those who try and make mistakes learn, but who never tries does not leave the place. If you have something you want to do, the only answer is to start. It doesn't matter if the plan is not perfect, adjustment on the way. Great entrepreneurs, artists, and leaders did not expect the certainty to act. Jeff Bezos started Amazon in the garage. Walt Disney was rejected several times before succeeding. If they had expected the perfect moment, they might never have made history. If you want a reading that can unlock you, read Brené Brown's The Courage to Be Imperfect and learn to embrace the action even with fear. Life rewards those who risk. Yes, you can make mistakes, Yes, it may not work first, but so what? Each error is learning. Each attempt is one more step in the right direction. The important thing is not always to get it right, but keep moving. So what is the decision you have been postponing? Does the project that never get out of paper? The change you always think about making? Do not let one day pass without acting. Start today, even without all the answers. The way opens for those who have the courage to take the first step. Now tell me, will you continue to be arrested in doubt, or finally take the attitude that can transform your life? If you knew it is your last day today, what would you do differently? Who would embrace stronger? What words would you say without fear? The problem is that we live as if we had infinite time, postponing gestures, feelings, and decisions. But the truth is that each day can be the last, and whoever understands it learns to live urgently. Life does not expect. As you plan too much, think too much, and let opportunities pass, time continues to run. And what hurts the most is not death itself, but to realize too late that it did not live as it should. It is looking back and seeing individual loves, unrealized dreams, excuses that have never been said. If you want to live urgently, you need to change your mindset. Make up with the past, because it has gone. Stop waiting for the perfect occasion to show affection, because it may never come. Take the phone, send that message, mark that date. Read Bronnie Ware's 5 Repentances of Life, and find out how many only realize too late what really matters. Give you all about each other at every moment. Live so that if you don't arrive tomorrow, you can say it was worth it. Act with passion, dedicate yourself to what you love, be present with those who really matter. Life is made of moments, and each one can be an unforgettable memory or a wasted opportunity. Time is the most precious good we have, and the way we use it defines our legacy. You can continue to let life pass, or may decide that from now on, you will live with intensity. So tell me, will you wait any longer? How long to be happy? Life will always give you 2 options: living dominated by fear or guided by faith. Each day is a new opportunity to choose to grow, get up, and move forward, even when everything seems difficult. But the final decision will always be yours. You can keep waiting for the perfect moment, or you can act now and transform your reality. What you have learned here will only have value if it is put into practice. What will be the first step you will take today? What do you need to leave behind to move on? Who can you inspire when choosing to live with purpose? Reflect on these questions and, most importantly, take an attitude now. Your future begins with the decision you make today. If this content has made sense to you, do not keep this message just for you. Share with someone who needs to hear this. And to continue receiving content that will help you grow and overcome challenges, subscribe to the channel and enable notifications. Let's go together on this transformation journey.